while we are having dinner. They're going to serve dinner and then parallelly I'll be speaking. So that way you can only act as if you're paying attention. How about that? What are we doing, Mahendri? Should we wait a few minutes while you're serving? Oh, you're just serving yourself? That's really good. What about everyone else? You don't know? So what should we do? Just give everyone 5 minutes and you serve everyone and then we'll start? Everyone okay? Few minutes? Alright. No, you can eat.
You want me to bring water?
Alright, I think we're going to try eating and hearing as much as we can do. So to make it easier, those of you here for the first time, if you can turn off your phones or put it on vibrate and for the next 45 minutes or so. Hopefully India and Pakistan don't go on war, go to war meanwhile, so our updates are not, we're not late in knowing what's going on. All right. It says failure facilitated by Jay Shetty. I'm not Jay Shetty. Jay Shetty is a very famous Facebook and YouTube phenomenon now. So I'm not it, but I borrowed or stole, however you like to say it, his presentation. Because when someone has done something well, a famous saying that what is the best form of flattery? Plagiarism is the best form of flattery. That does not apply in your college term paper, okay? So you cannot say I wanted to flatter a certain professor, so I plagiarized whatever they wrote. This is only in my case, it's allowed. Anyway, so the idea is we want to discuss why and how failures are stepping stone to success. So we're going to go to the next slide. There are some questions I want you to think about and maybe share a few thoughts. We'll go one by one. So let's think about every failure we've ever had. Anyone here who's not failed ever? Then you should not be in this room. Okay? So think about our failures, any of the failures you've had. And think of a time when something happened, you felt it was unjust and you didn't deserve it. Okay? How did you feel at that time? Any thoughts? You wanted the situation to become better? Okay, very good. But it's talking about feeling. Okay, the next part of the question is what were your thoughts? So okay, so sometimes let's take a pause and I'm going to digress a bit. There is a difference between thought and feeling. Okay, a thought is not a feeling. Feeling means some emotion that's there. So generally we use the word I feel something, but it's generally not a feeling. Feeling has some emotion. I feel happy, I feel sad, I feel angry. Versus thinking is I think this is a good idea, that's a bad idea. That's a thought. Okay. So this question is when you were in a situation of failure and it was seemingly unjust, how did you feel? And the second part is what were some thoughts going through your mind? Any?
Why me?
Why me?
Yeah.
Very good. Why me?
Felt anger and thought it's my fate.
You felt anger, you rationalize it by maybe that's my fate.
Actually, different depends on the kind of failure probably. Like sometimes it may be your fault. Sometimes you'll feel like, oh, it's someone else's fault. Sometimes you'll be like, I don't know whose fault it just happened.
It just happened.
No
Okay.
explanation.
Powerless or weak because we are not able to manage the...
Very good. Powerless or weak because the situation seems outside our control. Do you have any thoughts? What could I have done differently to avoid it? Thank you.
I mean, at this situation, yeah, it will, feel powerless, weak.
I also
So what should we do anything or not? Sorry.
I just feel regret after just speaking something, and then I think like, oh, I should not speak like that.
About a failure? For you, speaking wrongly is a failure?
Kind of, because sometimes like the conversation also we just in some interviews or something, or some random with parents or something, we just lost the conversation. Like I feel failure, like I should have just done it a better way.
But mistake is different from a failure.
I mean, prepare yourself for that it doesn't happen again.
Do you feel mistake is different from a failure? Mistakes can be corrected perhaps. Failure means, what's the dictionary definition of failure? Something that is not in an operating condition or ceases to operate. That's failure. So unless the conversation, there can be a mistake in what we speak. But what is the failure? A broken relationship is a failure. You understand? So we make mistakes, but it gets into the domain of failure when a particular relationship is broken, especially in terms of speech. For example, I'm at an interview. I said something that I shouldn't have said, and my potential relationship with the company does not get established anymore. That is a failure. Not what I said might be wrong. There are times when we might have said something wrong and still got the job. Or sometimes we wonder, what did I say that I got the job? That's how it was for me when I graduated. All right. How did you react to the situation? How did you respond to what had happened? Any ideas on how, what you did? How did you respond? Specifically about some failures.
Like I have failed in the past, but that time I had a strong mind that I will succeed at some point. But when I felt like some people around me started taunting, so आसपास के लोग मतलब मजा लेते हैं. But I was strong enough.
You're talking about exam and not love, right? I'm just pulling your leg, but anything else?
You withdraw from any interaction.
That's what you did? You withdrew? This is specifically what did you do?
Yeah,
You did. You withdrew from?
going out, I was stuck in my room for a week.
And what was going on?
I was just trying to feel better, so I was watching Netflix.
You and Sergio should speak to each other. He likes Netflix too.
But yeah, I was basically just stuck in my room on my laptop doing.
Escaping from the wanting to face the situation or sort of deal with it. Very good. Thank you, sharing.
Did some soul searching.
Okay. Did you find it?
Try to.
Or soulmate searching?
As in, you search for answers.
Yes.
Start searching for answers, and then sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. So you just keep going, put your head down, keep working hard, and just keep going.
Trying to come at a reason why this happened. Like
That's part of the soul searching,
yeah,
you know.
And the reason like why this thing happened.
I'm going to, this is not in the thing here, but just inspired by what you're saying, I will teach you a method. I'm sure some of you know. Have you heard of what is called Socratic questioning? Okay. Socrates, there used to be one fellow called Socrates. He had no job, he was just sitting in a room, and okay, so that kind of guy, Socrates. Socrates developed a method. So you can say why or so what, however you ask it, but whenever you look at why something went wrong or you're trying to go to the bottom or the root cause of something, when you ask why or so what, the first time, you get an answer. And he says that that's not usually the reason. So you ask so what at least 3 to 5 times. By the 5th time, you actually start hitting the actual reason. For example, I failed in my exam. Why did I fail? I didn't prepare. Okay, why did I not prepare? I didn't feel like it. I was distracted. Why was I distracted? Beyond this, I'm not going to reveal anything about myself, but you get the idea. So by the time you come to 3 or 5 whys, it is said that you can hit to. So we use Socratic questioning when we're doing strategy planning and stuff. We say, why are we here? What is the core issue we want to deal with? Or we're having a lot of problems in the product. Why is that an issue? Why 3-4 times, and you get to the root cause of it. So that's something you can keep in mind.
Is that because right after failure we feel negative emotions, so while asking why multiple times, we cut off that emotion and start the thinking process?
Possible. Not that everyone has negative emotions. Some people deal differently. Some people become even more determined. But it's to get away from the very superficial answers to the more core questions or core answers. All right, I'm going to show you a video. I hope volume is working, and let's get some thoughts after that. Volume is needed. You can crank up the volume. Shiva, anything you can do to increase the volume on this?
Fear
Okay, good. Thank you.
is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice. We are all telling ourselves a story, and that day might change.
Who was once cut from his high school team.
I need $5,000 to get this thing off the. Who gave me $5,000 when I was in Michigan State doing my program? I didn't have no budget, but I didn't need a budget. I had a dream. I didn't need no help. The president never came and said to me, "E.T., we're gonna help your program for this institution more." The president never came, and I never quit. I never gave up. Why? Because it wasn't her dream in the first place to take care of your kids from the deep. It was my dream. I don't expect you to believe in my dream like I believe in my dream. And the problem with some of y'all is you want somebody else to support your dream. It's yours.
Michael Jordan dominated his sport like few athletes ever have.
I don't know if you would die. It's your dream. If you wanted to have it, get your butt up and make it happen. If you wanted to have it, rise and grind. If you wanted to have it, you won't have to do what I do. And that's get up and say, if you wanted to have it, that means you have to work hard and get your butt up at 5 so you can get to Detroit by 6.
Okay.
That means you won't have to speak to the chief and you won't have to act like you got all the energy in the world. Why? Because it's my time. This is my moment. Tomorrow. Ain't no such thing as tomorrow. We only got today.
Thoughts? Some things that stuck with you? There are a few nice sentences there, if you picked up on them. Anything?
There is no
Other than the pleasure to see Michael Jordan?
there is no such thing called tomorrow.
There's no such thing called tomorrow. So?
Today is my moment.
Now do it.
If I can.
If there's no tomorrow, you should not be handing in any assignments tonight, all right? And if you're asked why, just say, Michael Jordan told me, there is no tomorrow. Something else that stuck?
Fear is not real.
Very good. Say a little bit more, what he says.
He said that danger is very real, but fear is, I don't know.
He said it's an imagination. It's in your head. It's an imagination. Why is that? First of all, is it true? Not just because Michael Jordan said it, it must be true. He's not a special acharya or a great teacher or anything. But what is it? What does it mean? Fear is imaginary.
I mean, we can control fear. I mean, it's all about in our thoughts. So, if you think, I mean, if you fear something and you stop fearing it, you proceed in your life. I mean, there's progress. And by what he said at the last, that you should not postpone everything to the next second. Sometimes what we do is there's some fear which stops us from doing something, and we put it for a later date or something.
Very nice.
So, if you stop doing that,
Fear brings procrastination, or
Yeah, and fear was created in our brain so we could cope with being chased by a predator, and not to deal with, the being afraid of midterm or something like that.
yeah, exactly. Although being chased by a predator, the danger is real, but the fear. What is one of the things in counseling which is often taught? For example, someone has had an accident and they have to drive a car again, then there is fear. They cannot sit at the driver's wheel. Or they've had an accident, they have to walk again, or they have to do something. There is fear. So in counseling, come on in. In counseling, one of the first things that is dealt with is not that fear should go away completely. Actually, fear is a protective mechanism. We don't become fearless. So fearless would mean I don't need to put a seat belt. Okay, I don't need to be careful. It's all imaginary. That's not true. Fear should be there. It actually is necessary for preservation. However, right sizing the fear is important. Our mind or our trauma has the ability to magnify our fear very, very significantly. You'll see a human being who's about 150, 160 pounds sometimes is freaked out by a cockroach or a little mouse. Okay? And you have to tell the person, just look at size comparison. How big you are and how big is the mouse. Even if you just step on it, the thing will die. But something about the mouse invokes a whole bunch of fear in us, for example. Okay, so right sizing the fear is very, very necessary. Otherwise, everything looks daunting. Okay. So, well-known speaker had started his speech by holding up a $20 bill and said, who would like this $20 bill? Pretty much everyone raised their hands. He said, I'm going to give you the $20 bill, but let me do this first. So he took the $20 bill and he crumpled it, okay, completely, and said, who would like this now? What happened? Still everyone raised their hands. So he then took that crumpled $20 bill, put it on the floor, stamped it, crushed it with his foot, and said, who would like this $20 bill? What do you think happened? Everybody said they wanted. Okay? So, he said, I wanted you, that's what he said to the audience, I wanted you to learn a valuable lesson. And the valuable lesson is, no matter what I did to the money, every one of you still wanted it because there was absolutely no change in its value. It was still worth $20, whether you crumpled it or stamped it or kicked it or whatever. So the lesson that he wanted to impart to his audience is, many times in our lives we are dropped, crumpled, crushed, kicked, and brought to dirt, but there is always intrinsic value in who we are and what we can do. Okay, we may feel worthless, we may feel like nothing's going to work out, everything is shattered, but that doesn't matter. There is always an inherent value. And as we progress, I'm going to tell you what that value is. Okay, different people have different perspectives on what that value means. But because we are at Vedic vision, I'm going to tell you what, from a Vedic worldview, what that value, inherent core value, what that means. Okay. I'm going to tell you a story. So don't change anything yet. Let me see if you know this person. So there was a person in America who started a business, and when he was very young, and by the time he reached 21 years of age, his business failed miserably. Then he went to the legislative assembly and contested an election. At the age of 22, he was defeated. I mean, he failed miserably at the election. Then again at the age of 24, he started another business. That one failed too. Then at the age of 26, his wife died. At 27, he had a nervous breakdown. At 34, he tried again to compete in a congressional race. He was defeated very badly. And at the age of 45, he wanted to get elected to the Senate, and he lost miserably. At the age of 47, he went for the vice president's post. Lost. Then at the age of 49, he tried to be in the Senate again. And what happened? Lost. At 50, he became the President of the United States. Do you know who this is? You need a picture? Very good. So, from 21 to 50, everything that he did failed. Every attempt, endeavor failed. At the age of 50, he became the President of the United States. Okay? You're too late for a lecture and too early for dinner. I'm just pulling your leg, don't worry. There's no formality here. All right, next person. When this person was a little child, they were partially deaf. And at most times the teachers would taunt him. Then he went on to invent the electric bulb. Edison. Apparently a failure all throughout school, and also failed at inventing the electric bulb how many times? 1,000 times. And then succeeded. Actually, he tried 9,999 times and failed, and did 10,000 worse. And I know that. I read that one too. But just humor me for a moment. So instead of Edison, it was someone else. I know that story. All right, next one. As a child, they had immense difficulty at pronouncing words. Their grammar was horrible. Sounds like me, right? They were very slow in learning. Just somehow went to school. Teachers used to humiliate him. They beat him in school. And because of their inability, other children would taunt them, make fun of them. And then when he became an adult, he was called to Oxford University to give the inaugural address to an assembly of students who were doing their major in English. And this man came up to the podium, and there was a huge applause. And his speech was of primarily 3 words. You want to guess what those 3 words were?
Thank you, audience.
Okay, nice. It was never give up. And then the audience started applauding even more. Do you know who I'm talking about? You're very good. Winston Churchill. He had a very, very difficult time. His tongue was heavy, he could not speak, blah, blah. Churchill is also then accredited with some very, very smart comebacks, the way he would speak. How many of you have seen the movie The Darkest Hour?
Yeah.
If you have not seen the movie, take time. Is it on Netflix? Okay. It's on Tamil Rockers or someplace. I don't know. I heard something. Anyway, Darkest Hour. Get a chance, look at it, and you will see that when they were fighting the war, in the very hour, the last hour where there was some crucial decisions to be made, the way he decided what to do and how to keep the country enthused. Very inspiring story. All right, next one is a giveaway. I'm sure you will know. A caricature artist. He had no place to paint. He had no house of his own. So in the basement of a church, he used to make caricatures. He was also clueless as to what to draw, what will sell. Once, as he was in a basement, a mouse came by. He drew the mouse and called it Mickey. He went to MGM Studios in 1927 to sell his idea of Mickey Mouse. They took it very easily, right? No, they kicked him out. He was rejected. And not only MGM, all the other studios rejected his idea of Mickey Mouse. And the reason they gave us, he said that women, when they see mice, they are terrified and they scream. And so when you show a big mouse on screen, they didn't think it was a saleable idea at all. And after so many times being rejected, he didn't give up. Walt Disney. Here are some more factoids about people who we hold in great respect and regard for being successful in life. Albert Einstein. He could not speak till he was 9 years old. He had a speech impediment. How many of you know Sylvester Stallone? Of course, Sylvester Stallone. He was told again and again that his movie Rocky would never make it. It was the worst movie plot ever. It is still. It was so successful because the movie is based on the theme of if you fail, you keep at it, never give up, and you will win. Okay. Steven Spielberg. He was very desperate to go to the UCLA movie school, which is the #1 in the country. But he was not eligible because his grades were just mediocre. Okay. It turned out to be Steven Spielberg. He is who he is. So what can we learn from the lives of these people? What are some lessons we can take away?
Never give up.
Never give up. Okay, what? Very good.
Persistence.
Persistence, same as never give up.
Be positive.
Be positive.
Failure.
Explain more.
Like every failure, they are learning something so that they can implement in their next attempt.
So what's the difference between, like, say, these great people or supposedly successful and ordinary people? What separates them from ordinary people?
Accepting failure.
They still have hope.
They have hope. Okay.
Accepting failures.
They accept failures.
They stuck with what they started.
They stuck with what they started. It's not like they didn't modify it, but they were determined to keep trying and keep trying. Yeah, good point. Anything else?
They change their goals when they face a failure. When they change their goals when they face a failure. So these people never left the hope of reaching their goals.
Okay, very good. Anything else? So I'm going to share with you 6 steps to learn to take failures as the greatest rewards, okay, in a way that we can learn from them. So here are 6 things. Hopefully you'll remember. It's there. Keep going. All right. How to deal with failure. Before you put it on screen, what do you think is the very first thing when there is a failure, we're failed in something? What's the very first thing that you think one should do?
Accept the failure.
Accept the failure. Anyone else? Any other way of saying it? Huh? You don't accept failure. If you accept, then you're done. But what is the, you failed. So what do you say? Before you analyze. You whine?
Why me?
Oh, I thought you were going to drink some wine. I was like, well, okay, it's not a bad idea.
You try to put the blame on someone else.
That's later. I'm not saying what do we do. I'm saying what should we do. It's different from what do we do. I'm asking what should we do.
This is not compared with others' success or someone. So we shouldn't do that. We should try focusing on what we want.
Okay, let me rephrase the question. I'm not asking what do we generally do. I'm asking, to be able to cope with failure, what should we do? What's the first thing?
This is not the end.
This is not the end. Who said accept? Someone said accept. Accepting? But I thought you just debated the idea of
I thought that was when you first face with failure, say, okay, man, how can I turn this? How can I make sure that I get more marks or something along those lines? Not necessarily when it's the done deal.
Oh, okay.
Accept
It's better than denial.
All right. So the first one, I think we're all saying the same thing, but the language that I'm saying is, first is to admit that we failed. Okay? Because a lot of times there is a difference between not accepting a failure and operating in denial. You understand the difference? Denial means it is so evident in front of us, right here, that we have failed, and we say, no, we're not failed. Something's, they're wrong, or whatever, whatever is our response. They don't understand how great I am. One day, they will put up my cartoon instead of Mickey Mouse, whatever, they make my cartoon. So first thing is to admit that, yeah, I failed. Right? So it says, unless we admit, there is no question of improvement. Okay? Because if you're in denial, here's the problem. We can never think that there is something to improve. So failure is an indicator. Something's not working. How can you make it, or make yourself, or make that thing better? Okay? Yes, I failed. Here's an English proverb. Success has many fathers. Failure is an orphan. Okay? So in a team, when we succeed, everybody will be ready to say, because of me, I contributed. But when the team fails, I did, but that person didn't do their part well enough. That's what it means, that success has many fathers and failure is an orphan. Okay, so that's the first one. Admit. Second one. Analyze. Okay, anything else? What happens when someone fails? You were really hoping, you had all your dreams and aspirations set on whatever that you wanted, that outcome. It didn't happen. What do? Dejected or? Went or? Whine. We dwell. Huh?
There's disappointment and
There's a whole range of emotions, anger, disappointment, and it's all called dwelling on it. Okay, we dwell on it. So the second one is, instead of dwelling on it, do something about it. Dwelling is not an action. All right, totally side topic, but important. In life, the most uncomfortable position, okay, is indecision. The most uncomfortable position is indecision. In fact, sometimes take a decision. If it's right or wrong, we'll deal with it later. But when you take a decision, at least there is movement. Okay? How many of us have been in that gray space of indecision? Oh my gosh, the agony we have to go through in indecision. The whole of Bhagavad Gita begins because of Arjuna being in indecision. The most powerful guy, the most decisive fellow, cannot make a decision, cannot make up his mind. So next time you're in a place where you cannot decide, just take a decision. If it's wrong, we'll learn from it. None of our decisions are life-threatening, right? We're not making any life-threatening decisions or changing our life to such a way that it's irreversible. There is no decision in this world that is irreversible. Agreed? Except, if you do something silly like taking your own life. That is all. Other than that, for what we deal with on a day-to-day basis, they look big, they look severe, but they are not irreversible. They are reversible. You can always change. It may take some time. So first is never, never, never find yourself in that space of indecision. Okay? Please. If I can give you any advice, this will be my advice. Never make a decision. It's okay. A wrong decision is better than no decision at all. Because when you don't make a decision, each one of us goes through such agony. Agony like anything that is not necessary. Make a decision. Okay? Keep life simple. Alright. Rather than dwelling and getting consumed by it, see what can be done. Third one. It says there is an eraser to rub the mistakes, do not worry. Like I said, nothing is irreversible. So here the important pieces of a pencil. If you look at a pencil, the real essence or the important aspect of the pencil is the lead that's inside. But that lead comes in a wooden casing. Right? And until and unless you remove some part of the wooden casing, the pencil is not effective. Okay? So when I said that the value, remember the $20 bill example, that there is a real value to us regardless of what situation we are in, how crushed we might be, how beat up we might be. What is the real value? From the Bhagavad Gita's perspective, we're all conscious living beings. In Sanskrit the word is called Atma. And that is the most valuable and is always free of any worries. Okay? We may not at that point where we are dealing with something understand that that's the real one, but that is what we should focus on. Alright? Very critical. And unless we think that that is value, then we are like in the pencil. If it stops writing, we look at the wood and say, oh my gosh, it's useless. So you have to get the lead. That is what is the essence or a value. Okay? And any impact the pencil can make on paper is only when the lead is visible and it's there to write. So unless one considers that I'm actually Atma, a conscious living being that by nature has three characteristics according to Bhagavad Gita. Sat. Sat means it's eternal. The living entity, the Atma never dies. Although we may see the death of dreams and projects and this and that, but at the end of the day, the Atma never dies. And next is Chit. It is very fully cognizant. It is fully aware. But because of the coverings of, that's a different topic, but because of the coverings of the body and the mind, there is the sense of ignorance. And finally, it's called Anand or bliss. The soul is always, by constitutional nature, happy. But we experience unhappiness, distress, misery, is because we forget that core, that principle that basically gives life. Because if the Atma, the soul, is not in the body is considered dead. Right now, we're all carrying these dead bodies. The body itself is dead, or it's inanimate. It is because of the presence of the soul that the body is animate. When the soul leaves, same body, if we were happily running to embrace it, when the soul leaves, we're happily running to bury it or burn it. Okay? So it's the presence of the soul. That is the most foundational lesson from a Vedic standpoint. So whenever we are in a condition of failure, if that ever happens, always remember the core of who we are and begin from there. Alright? Then what is within can never be brought out without some pain. This is always the case. In the greatest, even in these examples, without some pain, there isn't what they got. It was not easy. Even in the pencil, unless you sharpen the wood, the lead won't show up, right? Anyone made gold jewelry or know how gold is made? So the goldsmith, even after making whatever, the bangle or the earring, they put it in fire to burn any impurities. And unless it's in fire, it doesn't become pure. So to get to where we want, there is some fire of adversity required, because when we are in adversity, it becomes the greatest opportunity to exhibit what's inside. The lead of the pencil, we get a chance to express our character. Because on normal times, our character doesn't show fully. Right? We're very happy to say hi to everyone, open the door, greet everyone. I always tease the airline. They will stand by the aisle and say, thank you, have a wonderful day, thank you, have a wonderful day, bye bye now. Basically, bye bye now is a nice way to say get out quickly. But it is bye bye now. But you tell them your service sucks, or you lost my baggage or something. See how they respond. Okay? Or why others? Look at our own selves. When we act in a particular way on a day-to-day basis, and when we are in difficulty or there is a failure, then our real character shows up. We did this last week as well. Remember the story of Akbar and Birbal? That adversity or failure is necessary sometimes to allow us to demonstrate our true character. Now, if the true character itself is not so great, then what to show? What are we going to demonstrate? So we want to make sure that through life we learn certain lessons such that we get the chance to demonstrate that character. And every pencil comes with an eraser, because mistakes happen, and that's okay. We should never think that we have to go through life free of mistakes. It's not possible. And finally, the greatest value for a pencil is when it's in the right hand, not left. Some people are left. By right, I mean it's in an expert's hand, because an expert can write a great poem, can make a great sketch, right? Can write the most powerful speech. But in someone else's hand, may write something that's very heartbreaking or really crass, whatever. So it depends. Pencil finally is an instrument. So human life, because we're comparing ourselves to pencils, our perfection and our success is when we are in the appropriate expert's hand. So all Vedic knowledge will tell us from the beginning that spiritual life begins with finding a teacher or a guru. That is true in any discipline. I mean, if you've seen the movie Karate Kid, okay, the little kid was very skilled, no doubt, a great talent, but the talent cannot find success unless it is chiseled by, trained by a proper master or teacher or guru. Very, very critical. The point of human life, actually the Vedic aphorism in Sanskrit begins with Athatu Brahma Jigyasa. Now inquire about the Supreme. Inquire about spiritual life. But inquire automatically, implicitly says that you have to go to someone who knows the answer. Right? So the principle of guru or teacher is implicitly hidden and conveyed in the very first Vedic aphorism. Okay? Very, very important to find a teacher who can bring that perfection out in us. Any thoughts before I move on to a couple of things?
How do we find that spiritual master in this era?
So, very good. First, how to find is first to have a desire to find one. Because none of us will ever find what we are not looking for. Okay, so that's first. Second, when you do find, or when we do find, we should know what are some of the qualities or qualification of a proper teacher. Right? Like when you are applying to a university, I'm sure for the courses that you were going to do in, you read some bio of your professors. What kind of work have they done? What research have they done? Is it of my interest? Are they doing okay? Do they have funding? We did all that. So there are certain qualities by which one should assess. Now where do I find the qualities? The Bhagavad Gita, in different locations, there's a whole list. They should be this way, they should be that way, they should be this way, they should be that way, because those are all demonstrations of their character. So we have to put the teacher to test, and then the teacher puts the student to test. But without testing, you don't buy anything. Suppose you're going out to buy a diamond. Someone gives you a diamond. Will you test it or no? Of course, you will test it to authenticate it. But how do you know what's an authentic diamond unless you've read some qualities of a diamond? It should cut glass, it should be clear when you hold it against the light of the sun, etc., etc. Right? So one should become educated on what are the qualities of a proper teacher and on what are the qualities of a proper student, and then fine. All right, anything else? Okay, fourth lesson. One has to learn from failure. Okay, if we learn nothing, then it is only a failure. Real learning means, remember when you first admitted that I made a mistake, I failed, then the real learning is I'm not going to make that mistake, or I'm not going to try the same thing again. I'm going to improve, I'm going to do something differently. And finally, fifth and sixth. Fifth, it says never play the blame game. Okay, and don't make any excuses. So you've heard the proverb, to err is human, to err is human, to forgive is divine. I have a different version of it. To err is human, and to blame it on someone else is even more human. Because that's what we do. As soon as there is something wrong or failed, we first look for somebody to blame out there. Either we blame someone or we blame the circumstances. Okay? But important is to find out how I contributed to it. And finally, never give up. Alright. You guys ready for a little group activity? Alright, so I want you to get into groups of 5, 9, 5, let's say groups of 5. Can you form groups of 5? Do you need instructions on how to form a group of 5? And in a group you need to see each other's faces. And someone's got to be a note taker because I'm going to give you an exercise so you know what you're going to do. Worked out? That's okay, this is a free world. You ready? How many need more time? Alright, here's the exercise. I want you to choose a particular scenario that can illustrate a typical failure scenario in one of our lives. Okay? A typical failure scenario in our lives. And then you come up with a 3-minute sketch. It can be less than 3 minutes too, but you know, should be at least 1 minute. You come up with a 3-minute sketch, which you're going to come and do here. And if you want to make it humorous, by all means, do it. Okay? Just pick a typical failure scenario in our lives. Okay? And be a little exaggerating because you want to highlight something. So it can be humorous. That's great. I want you to exaggerate and show how we over amplify things in the situation. Okay? I want you to see how we over amplify. It may be very realistic, who knows? How we get carried away and absorbed in the problem rather than the solution. I haven't done, you're already beginning.
Too enthusiastic.
I'm not done yet, I'm still giving instructions. This is called absorbed and carried away. Great example. Okay, how we get carried away and absorbed in the problem rather than the solution. How can we see the answer in front of our eyes and people around us are telling us, but we choose to turn a blind eye to it? And then what is the result? Got it? Be creative. You're all brainy thinkers, otherwise coming to IIT is a failure.
Can we use that?
Hey, sure. Exercise is clear? Take a, huh? Sketch means skit, yeah. Take a, you know what we're talking about? Sketch means you come there and do a skit, okay? That's what it means. You don't draw anything. So it's about 8:42. You have 7 minutes. Beyond that, I don't want a blockbuster movie and all that.
He didn't ask proper questions.
We want to keep it to 3 minutes, so keep it quick if you can. Okay, next one. All right, let's start quickly. Come on, move. All right, next group.
Okay, these people are living together,
Hey guys.
roommates. So day one.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are
Oh,
you?
nice day.
Wow, nice to meet you.
Hi, my name is Teja.
Good morning.
My name is Sabrish.
I'm Marita. Same here.
Nice.
So where are you from?
I'm from Chennai and where are you guys from?
Wow, that's a nice place.
Yeah,
So
Great.
good.
Even I'm from Chennai. Great. Great to
that's
know.
really
So where are
good.
you from?
I'm from Hyderabad.
Good, good. So what are your hobbies here?
Well, technically, I love sleeping.
Okay.
That's my favorite hobby.
Okay, how are you now? Come.
Oh yeah, sure. Thank you. Did you
We don't
do
have
this?
4 plates, but okay, we can share a
Yeah,
single
we
plate
can.
because we
Good
are
thing.
together.
We are a family already.
Yeah, obviously.
And yeah, so I got some sweets from India. So you guys wanna-
Please share, yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you. It's really good.
And today dinner I cooked with love, so please feel free to take home.
Oh yeah, we can have
Sure.
chance and I can just cook tomorrow also.
That's so amazing.
We will
man.
put up a
I'm
short
very happy.
schedule on that.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Okay,
So let's.
we had dinner, let's eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Day 2.
Okay, I'm going for baths. Please don't disturb me for some time.
This guy has gone again? Seriously, what is his problem? How much more time is he going to take?
Just come on, just come on.
20 minutes. Why you are like this? You can't
We have class in the morning. Our lecturers don't give us
You can't give
attendance.
sacrifice for a family member for 20 minutes? Dude, it's embarrassing.
You gotta do better. I mean, we cannot adjust times like this.
Everyone has to work.
We have to be listed up.
We have classes on the same time, you know, just for
I
that.
have an interview today scheduled. I'm sorry, I
You could have told us yesterday.
It's 20 minutes is normal. I don't expect this from you. Okay.
Day 3. I'm playing music on a very high volume,
And I have an interview next day.
and she happens to be my roommate.
I'm going to play the
If I sing,
music.
everyone will leave.
Shit, yaar.
I'm playing the loud music.
Can you just lower your volume, please?
I have already put it to the minimum. I can't put less than that.
I'm just skipping and just slipping now.
Okay, that's your wish.
I don't have time to clean any of these utensils. Listen, I have things to do. Sorry, please get it managed. Okay.
Here. Why are all dishes here in the sink?
This one time.
I will do something.
Yesterday my professor gave me an assignment and I could not able to do that by 12 o'clock. And this guy is coming today and keeping all the dishes on the sink. How embarrassing it is to have like this.
He takes much time.
And you girls are in the bathroom and you never come out.
I have put up a schedule for everyone. Nobody's following that. That's not our problem.
But I did not submit my assignment. Everything is because of this guy. Because he did not wash the
You people don't give time for me to bath, to eat, and I want my piece of time. This is not a proper schedule and this is not a use of time.
Everyone has decided the schedule. We have stickled on the.
But you never told me when to wash and who's going to wash it. It's not organized. So you want the family members to be so organized?
Okay guys, let's do one thing. Let's sit and talk and discuss,
Okay.
and then we can just try to have a schedule and we can just solve everything.
Yeah, that's fine. That makes sense.
So from next onward, just take less minutes for bath, then we can adjust the timings.
And also we can discuss before only who wants to go first.
Yeah, the same thing. If you listen to music, you could
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll try putting my earphones in.
Wow, it's a scenario that never happens, but congratulations. All right, Karthik, you guys.
This exact scenario where our task is to come up with a play, and this is how we failed at it.
Okay.
Guys, we have probably 5 minutes to figure out a way to get a skit to show about failure. Any famous failures that you guys are aware of?
J.K. Rowling, we can enact her life.
A marketing failure.
Probably Coca-Cola is something that we can do, right?
Yeah.
But we need something, we need a proper skit. We can't just say J.K. Rowling, we can't just say Coca-Cola. We need something, this is going to be bad.
Why don't we Google it?
What does Google say?
Google says that there are lots of failures, but how do we act them? Come on guys, we have 2 minutes. It's my first time over here, I don't want to mess up.
Come on.
Okay. Remember we were told that the solutions are right in front of us?
Exactly.
We've got solutions in front of us.
Good job. No, good. Creative. I like creative.
Man, it's already 12 a.m. I still have to finish this project.
So, this is going to be the after job scenario and how this situation lies. Karthik is at work. Hey Karthik, let's go for party. Let's have some vodka.
Hey, I don't drink first of all, and I have to submit this project, man.
Hey, what? You're doing this for so long. Let's
I
have
have a loan to settle up. I have to work overtime now to get money to settle. What, your dad will come and pay for me?
Okay.
My mother is calling right now. She has no other job other to disturb me during work. Mom, I can't talk right now, please.
Hi, it's not up. He didn't pick up the phone. Is that the way how I raised my son? There's no manners. I think he's lost it in America. I don't know what happened here.
Hello.
Hello, yes.
Ma'am, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah, how's your son doing?
He's doing good, yes.
Yeah, so what's your plan on settling the loan anytime soon?
Yeah, I'll let you know. Just give me some more time. I'll definitely have the amount ready by then. I'll just want you to give me some more time.
You already missed 2 months payment. I think your son is not doing any good at it.
No, I'm sure my son is doing fine. He's at a
Yes, he hasn't been doing anything good in his life. So,
I'm sure that my son is doing Hey Karthik, come to my office. What were you doing for the past week?
I was working on the project, boss.
It doesn't seem so. You were just sticking your ass in the chair. Do you think I'll pay you overtime since you're sitting on the chair?
Well, technically you should, boss.
I will not pay you even a penny when you don't submit the project on time.
Hey, it's working on my
You
system.
screwed on the project.
It's working on
Nothing
my
is
system.
working on the client side.
I can't be blamed if it's not working on my system.
I am firing you.
What?
You died. So
let me call my mom.
So this is how he reacts
Hello, Mom.
when he's been struck with the failure. Now he knows where to go to.
Hey,
The actual
Mom.
place. Yeah, it's Dad here again.
How are you?
I'm good, son. How are you? You haven't called me for the past 7 days.
Yeah.
Is everything fine?
Yeah, I know. I was just stuck up with the problem.
What happened?
I got fired.
How? Why?
I don't know, but I realized the fact that I lost my friends. None of them are willing to talk to me anymore because I had no time to spend with them.
Don't worry, son.
And
In the phone.
it's on speaker. But Dad, I realized something. Most of the things, the solution was right in front of me. You guys were the solution. I just needed to talk to you guys. But I just ran after money and I failed miserably.
Don't worry, son. It's all fine. You will always make mistake and you'll always learn from them.
Thanks, Dad. That's really encouraging.
No problem, son. You can talk to me anytime. That's why I'm here for.
No, don't get too emotional. Thanks, Dad. That's it.
All right, any insights? Anything you want to share? What stood out for you in your own play and others? Is that the... All of you are great actors, by the way. I don't know what you're doing in IIT. I know, exactly.
Acting with studies.
Was it helpful? Of course, the creative and the fun part is a different thing, but was it helpful? Is there something you learnt? Let's see. What are you taking from this session today? Any key lessons, some insights?
Actually, doing as an activity or maybe in front of many people is fun. But by the time when we overcome those situations in person, alone, that's when it's more difficult to come across and overcome all those difficult times actually.
Okay.
Failure is not the end.
Failure is not the end. Okay, any other insight? Sorry.
Just the beginning of a new track.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Yeah.
Sometimes problems are not that big as we assume.
Yeah. Remember right sizing the fears. Sometimes the problems, they look a lot bigger than they are.
It's like the answer is in front of us, but we are not able to see it because of our fears and the problems.
Okay. One of the things that fear does is that it blocks the ability to look for a solution. Always remember, mistakes and failures does not mean that there are no solutions. It is not irreversible. You can always change, you can always adapt, you can always improve. Right? It's never the end of the world. Unless you're you believe in doomsday stuff. Otherwise, there's no end of the world. It's still going to go on for 427,000 years. So there's enough time. Anything else? Anything for you? Sir here? Yeah, yes.
I thought I was
Any insights that you're taking with you? Yeah.
Well, I knew just interesting.
Loans?
Loans.
And mom and dad, yeah. That's definitely cultural. Anything else? For anyone else? Final. You have counting down to 3. 3, 2, 1. Well, thank you. Thank you for being with us tonight. Big applause to all of you for coming out and doing a little skit in front of everyone. One, without enough time, and not everyone's an actor, but all are competitive, and the urge to do well definitely comes out. So thank you for doing it. There is more dinner if anyone wants more food. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. All your exams will be done next Friday. Midterms will be done. No? You have a midterm on Saturday?
No, and the next week.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Good night.